After a spiritual awakening, do you feel like you're losing interest in everything? Hobbies, relationship, career, all of it feels kind of meh. Maybe you are tired all the time and don't feel like doing anything. And you're wondering, will I ever get my motivation back? I can't just lie in the bed forever. You're not alone. I have been through this. Waking up with no purpose and no drive is tough. But here's what I realized. This is just all part of the process. You are recalibrating. You are in the process of letting go of your egoic desires and loosening your attachment to them. This is so that you can truly align with your true purpose. Instead of trying to force yourself to get back to your old life or interests, there's a better way to approach this. First of all, you want to check in with your vibrational energy right now. Where are you emotionally right now? Vibrational energy reflects the emotional level you're currently experiencing, and it's going to determine your approach. Different energy level is going to require different approaches. If you use the wrong approaches for where you are at, it could actually make things harder. Let me break it down for you. This is the emotional scale I use in some of my videos. It's from Abraham Hicks. On this chart, emotion range from low to high vibration. At the lowest end, things feels heavy, like there's a ton of resistance weighing you down. At the highest, everything feels lighter. You have let go most of your resistance and you are more connected to source. When you are losing interest in life, you can feel depressed, bored, or at peace with it. You can feel frustration, anger, all different kind of emotion. You can be at different levels. Losing interest doesn't automatically determine how you feel. It's about how you choose to see things, your perspective that shape your emotions. When you're feeling depressed, it's like you are emotionally drained. You don't want to get out of bed, nothing feels meaningful, and life just feels kind of blah. You just want to give up. But when you're feeling bored, the energy is different. You still want to do things, just that nothing really excites or interests you. Your mind get kind of restless and fidgets a lot. Can you feel the difference in terms of the energy? Depression and boredom sits on very different points of the scale and they need different approaches. This chart shows you how to move up the vibrational scale step by step. Think of it like climbing up a staircase. If you are feeling depressed, the next step up actually may be emotion like anger, jealousy, or even revenge. It may not sound ideal, but this emotion carry more energy than depression and can help you break out of that heavy, draining state. But if you're feeling bored, your next step will be emotion like contentment or hopefulness. Can you see the difference? That's why the wrong approach for the wrong vibration won't work. For example, if you're trying to jump straight to feeling content while feeling depressed, the gap is just too big and it will leave you stuck in that low energy state even longer. If you ask someone who can't get out of bed to surrender and embrace their reality, they may just lay there and die. They need a push. The first time I went through what some people call the dark night of the soul, I was stuck in a depressive state for about a month. I wasn't doing much. I remember sleeping a lot and barely leaving the house. It felt like I was stuck in an endless cycle. What ended up pulling me out of that state was actually anger. Once I stopped suppressing my anger and really allowed myself to feel it, it gave me the energy to move forward. I know as someone on a spiritual path, emotion like anger, jealousy, and revenge might seem unspiritual, but instead of focusing on the labels we give this emotion, think about them in terms of energy. When you are angry, don't you feel more energized and active compared to when you're feeling completely down and depressed? Anger might not feel great, but it's a step up from feeling depressed. Of course, we don't want to stuck in the vibration of anger. I have read like some spiritual people was angry with those people who are unconscious. They are jealous that they don't have to let go of their bad habits like smoking or like drinking, while they who have been spiritually awakened, they have lost interest in those activities. If you're feeling stuck in depression but aren't ready to connect with anger, another option is to just move your body. I know it's hard when you're feeling so drained, but physical movement can really help shift that stuck energy. Your emotion and your physical state are deeply connected. You can either work to shift your emotion, allow yourself to feel angry and use the energy, or you can simply start moving, and the movement itself will help elevate your emotion. I remember when I had depression, I had this urge to get out of the house. I didn't know where it came from. Maybe it's my intuition, my angel or higher self was giving me a nudge to get out of the house. I was like, I wanted to just go anywhere but home. I didn't even have a destination in mind. I would just like hop on the first bus that came and just took one transport after another. Sometimes I just wander around my neighborhood park, going in circles. I wasn't trying to get anywhere specific. It just felt better to be moving. Now I can see why that was necessary. I needed to move my energy. The stuck energy wasn't just within me, it was localized in my environment. Every time I went back to my room, I felt depressed again. Walking actually helps to change my perspective and mood. So if you're feeling stuck or way down right now, I encourage you to try some kind of movement. Go for a walk, hike, dance, run, swim, whatever feels doable to you. Just get that energy flowing again. As you start to move your energy, you'll start notice your vibration rise too. And when that happens, you'll start receiving insights and clarity about next steps. You start feeling interested in life again. If you feel bored, then the approach will be quite different. You kind of want to do less, not more. Because when you are in this dissatisfied vibe, no matter how many things you try, everything feels dull and uninteresting. Sure, movement can help sometimes, but in my experience, if you're bouncing around too much trying to find something to satisfy you, bother can quickly turn into impatience or even irritation. You won't find anything that fulfills you. And if you look at the emotional scale again, boredom, impatience, and frustration, irritation, they are neighbors. Instead of going down, you want to go up to contentment and hopefulness. When I'm feeling bored, I found that taking a break and focusing on just being works best. For example, when I feel kind of restless with work, I would just lie on my bed and stare out at the big, beautiful sky. Watching the birds fly and the clouds shift has become one of my favorite pastime. It's simple, it's calming, and so therapeutic. Every moment the sky changes just a little. It's so interesting to watch. And before I know it, I start to feel content again. But it all depends on where you are emotionally. I have suggested to some people struggling with depression that they spend time in nature and just be, but they often find it boring. Funny enough, the things most people find boring can be the most fulfilling if you are in the right vibration. I can just lie in bed, sit at a park, or go to the beach and feel completely at peace. Listening to waves, feeling the breeze and sun on my skin, or even hearing raindrops is also grounding. The earth is so beautiful if you just take your time to notice and appreciate it. And when you start reaching a higher vibe, your interest in life comes back again. But this time, it's not about being interested in those egoic desires anymore. It's more about connecting with your soul. Usually, boredom or lack of interest happens when you're focused on activities or goals that don't align with your soul. If they did resonate, you wouldn't feel that way at all. That doesn't mean that you should let go of your responsibilities, work, or hobbies. Just take a break every now and then. Step away from your screen, your tasks, or even people and reconnect with yourself. Once you do that, you'll find energy and inspiration flowing back to you. I can't tell you how many times I've just been lying in bed and suddenly I get an idea or some insight that inspire action. Ideally, my work setup would be half lying on the bed and half working on the computer. Technology, for all its benefit, can drain your mood pretty quickly. because there are so many distractions. So I make sure to balance my screen time with moments of stillness and simply appreciating the beauty around me. And you don't have to move to the rural areas. Sometimes it's as easy as shifting your perspective. For example, I'm a city guy. I live in the city, and while I love its convenience, I still love nature. So I just moved my bed next to the window, and now I can enjoy a full view of the sky whenever I want. You can find beauty anywhere if you look for it intentionally. Even if you're stuck in a concrete jungle, there's always a way to pause and reconnect with your spiritual self. And that will spark your creativity and make you feel alive again. Many people think that after a spiritual awakening, we lose all our desire and interest, but that's not entirely true. We don't lose them, they just change. For example, the desire to live peacefully or near nature is still a desire, right? It's just different from the ones we might have before. What happens after awakening is that our desires shift from being ego driven to being inspired by the soul. We still want things, but the energy behind those desires is different. Egoic desires feels more like craving or longing. You see someone on social media with a big house, a perfect body, or amazing vacation, and you want what they have. You keep chasing more and more, but it's never like enough. It's like you are the cookie monster on Sesame Street. You want more and more. There's a void inside you, and you're just trying to fill it with more stuff. So desire, on the other hand, works from the inside out. They feel more like inspiration, pulling you towards something. Maybe you feel a nudge to buy a house or move to a certain neighborhood, but you're not even sure why. Then after you follow your intuition, you realize the purpose behind it. It's something your soul want to experience. There's a flow of energy, and when you follow that flow, it feels good. That's what soul desire are all about. They're just energy, and there's nothing wrong with flowing with the energy. One big mistake some spiritual people make is thinking that they need to let go of all desire or material possession to be spiritual. But you see, it's never about the house or the stuff, it's about the energy behind it. If you are craving and chasing, that's egoic. But if you feel inspired, then that's spiritual. Judging yourself or others for having material things suppress your own desires. It's like the energy is coming out and you are pushing them down by telling yourself that it's wrong, that it's unspiritual or superficial to want those things. But that only keeps your energy stuck in a very low vibration, and it can lead to feeling depressed or apathetic about life. The truth is, all of us have desires. Our soul chose to come here for a reason. It felt so much better to be in the spiritual realm, but yet we still came here because we wanted to experience something. If you are feeling like life has lost a spark or you don't want to be here anymore, it could be because you have suppressed not just your egoic desire, but also your soul desires too. And that's why you're not receiving the guidance from your higher self. If you struggle to tell the difference between your soul desire and your egoic desire, watch this next video. I share 6 ways to differentiate the two.